to the world.
Okay.
Well, it's not the world. It's the patrons' private Facebook group. It's only $13.59, so I'm not going to press the button yet.
Why are you talking like that?
Because we're talking to the people at home who are watching the recording. We're counting down the seconds. Hello. Hello, viewers. Sat at home. What are you doing?
A bit weird.
No. When it gets this length, I have to pull it across.
All right. So long. It's so long, that hair. I don't know how you possibly cope.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
That's fine then. I get it now.
Right.
I thought you weren't being sarcastic.
Oh, right. Okay.
Woo! We're there!
It's 2.
Go live.
Press it.
3, 2, 1. Who's going to be first, folks? We shall see live for 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And who's the first people here?
Us.
Yes, it's you and me. We should be able to join and be our own viewers.
Oh, we should, shouldn't we?
Please tell us when you've arrived.
Do.
So we know that you're here. And then
Maybe everybody's just keeled over in the heat.
What's this? Visit the dashboard. Someone's here.
Visit
View
the
your
streamer
latest
dashboard.
stats and learn how to...
No, we don't want to do that.
We just want to get rid of it.
exit.
Why does it do that?
Vanessa! Oh,
Hello.
Vanessa, is
Kim.
it boiling there? Because
Hello,
we are
Jamie.
absolutely dying
Yes.
at the minute.
It's a little bit too warm.
Oh, are you okay, Vanessa? Oh,
Kylie's here.
Kylie's here.
Kylie
is she going to sing us a song?
Kylie is officially lucky.
Very lucky.
Because that's terrible, Kylie.
That's shocking. The poor lady, she must get that all the time.
I really do apologise, Kylie.
I'm so sorry for Dan.
Kylie is literally the newest patron.
Oh, wow.
What? I mean, how exciting is that?
That's fantastic, isn't it?
I was rapidly making sure that she had an
Jamie Ganji.
invite and everything.
Good morning,
so,
Jamie.
hello, Kylie. And already, why did...
Lorna.
Look, it's already...
Scully Wully. Scully, are you boiling? I hope you're not still in that bathroom glossing. Because you're going to be absolutely roasting.
She will be glossing.
She will be glossing.
Yeah.
She will be glowing.
She'll be glossed.
Oh, it's so warm today, everybody.
Tanya's going to Alaska.
Oh, I want to come.
Yes.
Next week. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to, like, pack myself in your suitcase.
Yes.
It's so warm. Erica.
Woo!
Are you okay, Erica? Is it still like 120 degrees? What is going on with the weather in the world at the moment? In the northern hemisphere, I should obviously say.
Well, in Michigan, it's cool and rainy.
Is it really?
Yes, Karen Potter.
Oh, Karen, I'm so jealous. Oh, I'd love to just go and stand in the rain at the minute. You finished the second coat of emulsion, done some ironing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's way too energetic, isn't it? We've got the window open today, and we've got doors open, and we've got a fan going downstairs. So if you hear sort of ambient noises...
Just hold the phone. It's not a fan. It's air conditioning.
We bought ourselves an air conditioning unit.
Because it's been just that warm.
A portable air conditioning unit. It's one of those you have to vent out of a door or a window.
So I wheel it into the bedroom at night.
Yeah. So we have it in the bedroom at night, and then he lugs it downstairs. So it's downstairs at the minute, sort of cooling that floor off a little bit.
That's why I'm literally glowing. Look at my face.
Roger, I saw a photo of Roger.
I know, isn't he a handsome chap?
He is.
I know, him and Rick.
Yes, and Rick. I hope you gave each other a cuddle.
They were, I think they were.
Told you to.
I think they were hugging.
Oh, it's cooler. You're all cooler. We're massively jealous. We think he's come over here then.
Neil, I'm guessing that my geography of England is quite good, but I didn't realise that there was a Muggy in Kent.
A Muggy in Kent.
That must be an area of Kent. Is it a town or a village, Ali?
Kent. I've never been to Kent. That's a long way south, isn't it?
It is. Maidstone's in Kent. Isn't that on the coast? I've been to Maidstone.
Does it have a coast, Kent?
I don't know if it does.
Does it have a coast, or is it a...
Is there another Kent in the world?
Another Kent.
You'd think there'll be a
one
Kent in America.
There's usually duplicates in America.
Yes.
Most British.
Yeah, and other places
names,
too.
Isn't there?
Yes.
There's a few Londons in America, I think, isn't there?
I think so.
You do look a little glowy. He is a little glowy, isn't it? I've powdered, so I should have powdered you. I should have done a bit of makeup, shouldn't I?
I was watching Friends the other day. Bryony's just got into Friends like big time, and it's really funny because she announces it you know, when things happen, as if we haven't seen it a million times.
Oh yeah, I know.
And it's sort of sweet.
Yeah.
I do, but it is cool watching it again. I have been shocked though, actually, at
it's quite rude, isn't it?
It is quite rude.
I think you don't realise it when you're watching it as an adult, but we're obviously watching it with Bryony, and we let her watch it. There's nothing.
It's not that rude.
No, it's not that rude. But there are quite a lot of things that make you go, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's become very popular with children in this country because literally, I mean, she was looking earlier at the pop figures. Have you seen the pop figure things? Does anyone out there collect pop figures? I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
Bryony does, because she collects literally tons of them and she's always asking for them, which is great because it's really good for birthdays and Christmases.
It is.
And clearly it's a thing.
There's always some new fad with her, isn't there, that there'll be 20 pop figures for. And
the whole reason why I brought this whole thing up was there are so many pop figures for Friends, you wouldn't believe it.
Really?
There's a pop figure for Chandler when he had his crazy hair.
Oh, right.
There is Joey holding the duck. There is Monica where she had dreadlocks because her hair went frizzy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, literally, you know, so clearly it's massively popular.
Oh, Jeanette Dover's in Kent. How stupid am I? I don't even know UK geography. I'm terrible with the southern counties. I don't, you know,
I feel bad because I wasn't sure.
Southern coastal counties, I've not got a clue.
I wasn't sure how far down Kent went.
I know, I wasn't sure. I knew it was kind of under London, but I wasn't sure which bit. Oh, we're dreadful as northerners.
Is it super hot, Ali, in Kent?
I think she said it was muggy.
Right. Well, it seems to be everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But look,
anyway,
that's
weather. What are we like with the weather?
This is our Christmas in July special. Oh, yes.
Let's think about cold weather.
The weather is really making me think of Christmas. I feel like I'm sat in front of a really warm fire.
Yes.
I've got chestnuts on the go.
Right.
My chestnuts on the go. And yes, it's time to start thinking about presents.
Right.
Isn't it? Because, well, we're in a wonderful position because you have done this mittens and we're literally laden.
Oh, I am.
With at least 2 pairs of mittens.
I have more than 2 pairs.
But
I did say at the beginning that I probably wouldn't get very far. I think I did.
But you know, who else? You do have to start planning, don't you? Because if you're going to do anything really good, you know, you need to be thinking about it. Unless you knit like lightning fast, which I know some people really are impressed.
And I know some people only start in like October or something.
Well, good for them.
Yeah,
I'm not quick enough.
You know, some years I've just thought I'm not gonna do anything at all because it's a lot of pressure on you at that time of year, I think.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people just say they're not going to do anything, which I'm all for that, really. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think that sometimes you do have to say that because it just becomes so overwhelming. Yeah,
but you set the stall out in January.
I know I did, when I was feeling confident.
So I'm merely continuing the rolling of that little snowball that you began.
I know.
But, you know, when you look at the pile, we do have some good stuff.
I've got a few things.
But we'll come on to that in a minute, because the first thing that we need to do is we need to do our gold random number, gold plus random number prize draw. Right. We need a shorter name for this.
Yeah.
And because it's so hot, and because it's just, we've already drawn it.
We've already drawn it. we kind of couldn't think straight today.
I was trying to get things to work and random numbers to come up.
You know when you just get delirious, you just can't think. Can
well, that's right. I just thought it's so warm.
There's a man outside sawing wood. I'm so sorry. They're laying a new floor next door, so I'm sorry for the random sawing noises.
Yes, it's not us. Oh no. This time for the random number draw for the winner that's already been drawn.
Yeah.
It's a pattern.
Yes.
And the pattern, it's a brand new pattern, and it's from. He's a friend actually of. I mean, I've been friends with him on Instagram for a long time.
Instagram friend, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that Nathan knows him really well.
Nathan knows him, yeah.
He's an actor in America, a stage actor. He's always going off to do auditions and all sorts. Well, he's done a couple of patterns. And one of them is called, the newest one, it's literally just come out. I think it was, did it come out the 1st of July? It's called Freezer Burn. Now, the name is a little odd. But there's a reason behind the name. I know there's a reason behind the name. I can't quite remember what it is. But forget all that, because what he's created is a really lovely colour work hat pattern. And it's super detailed.
Colour work's very big at the moment, isn't it?
We had a really good look through the pattern. And it's super detailed, isn't it? I mean, he's really put a lot of effort into creating this pattern, and we're so keen. You know, one of the things that I've loved about Knitability is actually, which we covered in the last issue. Last issue was, I'm going to totally pronounce her name wrong, but I hope you guys all enjoyed the interview with Anise Sang.
Oh.
I hope I pronounced that right. The Latvian designer who lives in Canada. She's just wonderful. And she's got loads of really lovely designs. And I know a few people actually really enjoyed the interview and went over and bought some patterns, but she's more of a newer designer. And we're always really keen to support, you know, newer designers that we quite like the look of.
Yeah.
So, Freezeburn, this is the prize. And the winner will be, well, they just need to let you know
their Ravelry names.
Yes.
Just let me know your Ravelry names, and then I'll arrange for the pattern to be sent to you.
Yeah, he'll gift it, won't he?
Yeah.
Yes, cool. Well, the winner is Amy Patterson.
Ah.
So, Amy, please.
Amy, I don't know your Ravelry name. Sometimes I know them, but I don't know your Ravelry name. So let me know your Ravelry name, and I will get Todd to send you that pattern.
Cool. Cool.
Excellent.
Excellent. So, that is our this month's Gold Patron prize draw. Climb every mountain height.
Sorry, I'm.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I was reading Helena's comment.
Read away.
Helena's going to do a class with Nathan.
Oh, wow.
Dual knitting.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's getting all over, isn't he, Nathan?
He really is.
New Zealand, I think I heard him saying he was going to, and Australia. That's bonkers, isn't it? Crikey.
Yeah, he is. He's all over the shop.
Yeah.
But we need to check in on the Climb Every Mountain height.
Yes.
Because, of course, the knitters have now knit their way to the top of Mount Everest. And I love that because it was exactly halfway through the year. So, nailed your first mountain in the first 6 months.
Yep.
On to Kilimanjaro.
Which won't be as high, will it?
I don't know.
Well, no, because Mount Everest is the highest.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, look, I'm not even getting involved.
We get ourselves into trouble, don't we, when we start being clever about mountains, because we're not.
Well, no, I call K2 Kilimanjaro because I always thought it was.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was.
Different mountains.
I'm crazy. He's loony.
I never even really know what countries they're in, if I'm honest.
Don't worry about that.
No.
So, how many feet did we cover, Team Finds, the knitters, in June? 3,359.5.
Wow.
That's a superb effort.
Amazing.
It's really picked up actually in the last couple of months. It's just brilliant. And it's good that it's picked up because so has Team Cool. That's the runners and the walkers.
Yeah.
We've really picked up. And I had a really bad month last month. So we probably would have cracked another 50, I reckon. But Team Cool, 2,193.33 feet. So we will we'll have finished. We will finally get to the top of Everest at the end of this month, I think. So then we'll be both back on the same mountain again. But I'll have a new graphic for Kilimanjaro for the next podcast. So we'll be able to see exactly where you are. But I mean, it's just brilliant effort. And the thing I was going to say actually was how utterly inspirational. I've been doing the adding up this year. Kay did it last year. And I've been doing it this year on the finished objects.
I would have done it.
I know you would. But
you just...
I'll just get on with it and do it. It's fine, it's fine. You did it last year. This year, it's my turn.
Seems fair.
I've got to say, it's an inspirational place to go and spend some time. My goodness me. Seriously,
you want some ideas on things to knit, it's a brilliant place to look.
But also...
You do sometimes flag with inspiration, I think, on what you want to knit next.
Yeah, but just for me, I think it was more the inspiration came from seeing how quickly people... finish stuff.
I know. Scully Woolly, I don't know how you knit so much. Like every day it seems like Scully's like just popped out another massive shawl. Oh my god, how does she do?
I know.
Amazing.
And Valerie, you know, Valerie's always churning out amazing jumpers.
Yeah, garments, amazing, yeah.
Similarly, Luciana.
Yeah.
Luciana, I mean, but you know, the list goes on. There was one person, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but it looked like they'd done a whole load of knitting for their children, and they ranged from quite young to sort of medium, I suppose between maybe 2 or 3 right the way up to about 6.
Right.
And it looked like, you know, they got them to put on everything that they'd worn, and it looked like through the course of each photo that the children got more and more sort of slightly
annoyed.
I've had enough of this now. And then the final photo, the 2-year-old looked like he or she was very upset. It was really sweet. I loved it. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that sort of knitting lifestyle being part of young families. You know,
absolutely.
It would be just. I just think it's such a healthy. Because I don't know when that lifestyle's there with you. I don't know whether having a warm hat makes you more likely to go for a walk in the woods.
Well, I don't know, it might motivate you. You might be like, oh, I want to wear that lovely hat that my mum made me. Yeah.
Or that lovely jumper.
And Brian, I mean, I never knit garments for Bryony. I think with children it's difficult, isn't it? Because they grow so quickly. And I kind of think you're investing all that time and they might not wear it. But I've knit loads of socks for Bryony, you know, and toys and blankets and other things like that, and she does love them all.
Oh, she does. Yeah. She does, and you know, you wonder what that does to you mentally, because you know, I was exposed to a certain amount of it growing up, but not a lot. You know, I mean, my mum did teach me to knit, you know, as you know, and she did knit me jumpers, but it wasn't like a huge part.
Oh, we always had hand knit cardigans.
Yeah.
From my mum.
I mean, some of that might be necessity.
It would be. It was absolutely necessity.
Yeah.
It was, and I think that's really why people used to knit back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, it was a cheap way of getting a good quality piece of clothing.
I wonder how many people there are still in the world that knit through necessity.
Through necessity.
I bet you it's more than you think. I bet you.
Because, you know, a lot of us, we would say that we don't have to knit, do it. Well, I say that, but you know, a lot of us use it as therapy, and that's brilliant. But it's not like we need it to clothe ourselves, is it?
We don't, but I think there's something to be said. We watched a programme recently, weren't we, about how Western society is all about going and paying for something and then having it.
Yeah.
It's a you know, it's consumer driven, and it's much cooler to be not that way. Yes, I know we've got to go by the yarn and the needles, but I think that, you know, being able, you know, I've spoken about it, haven't I, loads of times, and, you know, when you finish a big garment that you know, or any big project that you know is going to be used and well loved, it gives you a sort of sense of well-being, and also, you know, I think it is that self-containedness, similar to going out, you know, we've spoken, haven't we, recently about gardening, similar to going out and planting. I mean, imagine how cool would it be? Well, it wouldn't, because it would be hard work, but it would be so cool to have a couple of sheep and to take it from...
You need a bit of land, wouldn't you?
From sheep through to clothing.
Well, it would, yeah.
I love it. So, it is time for us to talk about Christmas knitting, and the first thing I think we need to do is we need to talk about this cardigan that you're thinking of knitting.
Oh, right. If you watched... I did a tutorial a little while ago, didn't I, on swatching?
Yes.
That's been out a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of you might have seen that. And the thing I was trying to swatch for and get gauge for was a cardigan from this Kim Hargreaves book. I'll show you the cardigan. I failed to get gauge with anything other than the actual recommended yarn. The recommended yarn is, it's all Rowan, obviously it's a Rowan book. It's Rowan Big Wool, and I did have one sort of random ball in my stash, so I was able to swatch with it, and I did get gauge with it. But it's a bit, well, I think it's quite an expensive yarn. It would have made the cardigan about £80, which is quite a lot really. I think it's a lot. You wouldn't have spent that on an actual gift for someone, really, you know, for Christmas, so it was just a bit too much for me. So I tried swatching with other yarns and couldn't get gauge, and then I was doing something recently and I came across Rowan Big Wool again. I think I was just on like Wool Warehouse or something, and it listed it as a super chunky, not a chunky, and I thought it was a chunky yarn. So I was swatching with other chunky yarns, and anyway, I think that was the problem. So I looked around and I found a different chunky yarn that was really inexpensive, and I ummed and ahed about this because it's largely acrylic and I don't generally buy acrylic, but it was really the only way I was ever going to knit this.
Yeah.
And I really wanted, you know, I'd bought this book really for this pattern. I'll show you the pattern. Let me find a picture of it. It's a cardigan, but it's like a really chunky jacket kind of
really nice.
cardigan. It's really nice, and I think it would knit up really quickly as well with this super chunky yarn. You use between 6.5mm and 8mm needles for various bits. So I found this yarn, which is a Stylecraft Life Super Chunky. And I thought, right, I'm going to give it a go. It's an 75-25 actually. 75 acrylic, premium acrylic, if that makes any difference, and 25% wool, and you get 80 meters per 100 grams, which is exactly the same as in Rowan Big Wool. That's also 80 meters per 100 grams. I swatched with it and I got pretty much gauge, and I've gone with this colour, which I don't know whether it's coming up. It's called Spice. It's a beautiful colour. It's got lots of colours within it. There's blues and oranges and reds. It's really lovely. It's not a flat colour at all. It's beautiful.
It looks classy.
Yeah, it does.
Which is nice.
And in those cables, I think it will be lovely.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to get 11 stitches to the inch. I'm not so bothered about row gauge because you can always adjust that, can't you, by knitting more or less. But 11 stitches to the inch was the gauge you're supposed to get. And after washing and blocking, I've got 11.5 to 4 inches, sorry, not to an inch. That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? That would be crazy with super bulky. Can you imagine trying to get that gauge with super bulky to 4 inches? So 11 stitches to 4 inches is what you're supposed to get, and I've got about 11.5. So I think once you've got the weight of the garment and everything with it, I think it will be more or less on gauge. So I bought the yarn, very inexpensive. I think I've got 8 balls or 9 balls. It cost me about 20-25 pounds.
Scully's knit with it, she says it's great.
Oh, right. Well, when I swatched with it, I thought it was brilliant. It's lovely. It knit really nice. It blocked really nicely. You know, it feels lovely. It's nice and soft. So
those cables are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. It's massive chunky cables. So I looked at the pattern today. I thought, oh, maybe I'll cast this on. And I was stumped straight away. Let me read this to you, and can you tell me what you think it means? Are you ready? I think what it means, well, I'll tell you what I think it means. On this particular row, what you've got to do, it says, increase knitwise in next stitch. Now, do we all think that means a knit front back? What else could that mean? Increase knitwise in next stitch. I'm hoping that means knit front back. Why don't they just say...
I'm waiting for everyone to chime in.
Yeah, I know, nobody's said anything yet. Shall I say it again? Increase knitwise in next stitch.
Oh!
The thinking. Scully, you think that's a knit front back?
Maybe YUP is shortened for something.
Oh, what could it stand for? Yes.
Oh no, don't.
No. That's what. Right, brilliant. But why don't they just? My point, I suppose, is
everyone agrees.
Oh,
apart from Lorna, who has no clue.
Yeah, I know. But why don't they just?
Sandra too is puzzled. So are we.
Why don't they just say knit front back?
So frustrating, isn't it?
It's less letters to say KFB than it is to say increase knitwise in next stitch. That puzzles me, and this kind of puzzles me about this type of pattern. Do you know these sort of Rowan pattern books that are written the kind of old-fashioned pattern way, I think? Knitting pieces, not a huge amount of detail given in the pattern, a bit like Dan's vest that I knit.
Yeah.
You know, and that pattern was written in probably the 80s, and I don't think the way that we write pattern books like the Rowan ones, I don't think it's really changed very much at all.
Right.
In terms of giving you the information that you need. And maybe it's like down to the fact that they just presume that people that will be knitting it are very experienced and they will know what that means.
But as I said, I would do a make one knit if you don't want the little bit from the knit front back. Valerie also said the same thing.
Do you mean, but the thing is, if you do a make one where you pick up a strand in between, then your stitch count won't be right, will it? Because when you knit front back, you're using a stitch. When you just make one, you're not using that stitch. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of matters, isn't it?
Yeah, it does matter. It matters hugely. Because it does.
But it's telling you to do it in the next stitch.
Yeah.
So that to me means you've got to use the stitch to create another stitch. So I think that's why it's got to be a knit front back.
Right.
But really, should I be... you know, should I be having to have this thought process when all they need to do is say what you've actually got to do? I think that's my point, that, you know, and I'm going to knit it. I am going to knit it. But already I'm kind of a bit frustrated with it.
Yeah.
But is that what everyone's saying? Saying you're increasing one stitch with both knit front back and make one knit. What do you mean by make one knit?
If you just make one.
By using a strand in between?
I mean, it would be the same thing, wouldn't it? Because if you knit front back, it's 2 stitches. And if you make one and then knit the next stitch, it's 2 stitches.
But then what do you do with that next stitch? What do you do with... But it's not telling you to do that though. So
yeah, I mean that's true. Someone said do your favourite make one, and that might be what they're telling you there.
Well, I think I'll do a knit front back.
Right.
And I'll just see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something that's going to be going on the needles, and I feel a bit bad for using acrylic, but then, you know, what do? Do you? It's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it? Because especially when it's a gift knit.
But it looks really.
I mean, the yarn's lovely. I mean, if I show you the yarn, it's really nice, and it's got all these tweedy, flecky bits of colour. But I know that I'm just adding to the plastic mountain by doing it. But then I think also it can be thrown in the washer, can't it?
Yeah.
You know? And that's no trouble at all. And it's the sort of thing that will be worn more as a jacket, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that you can just throw it in the washer. And also the Rowan Big Wool, it looked like it would pill like the absolute devil.
Yeah.
It was very, very soft.
There's a clear frustration from people when patterns aren't clear.
Oh, right. Well,
it does my head in.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then, yeah, the increases do look different. Yes, one increase will look different to another, won't it?
You know, as well, you know, you look at this, you know, it's a beautiful, glossy, well-produced thing.
Yeah.
But it seems that they've got everything right apart from the clear patterns, which is the most important bit of it.
And there's another one in here that is also with Rowan Big Wool that I could use this yarn for, and I would love one of them. Let me show you. It's like a big coat, a big garter stitch coat. Look, I love that. And you know, that is obviously a coat, isn't it? More than a cardigan. But I think that's fantastic. But realistically, you know, how many balls of Rowan Big Wool would that take?
Oh, that would do my head in knitting that. That would absolutely do my head in.
Let's see, shall we? It takes 15 balls of Rowan Big Wool, so you're talking well over £100 for that.
That's bonkers.
Getting on to close to £150 for it to knit it in Rowan Big Wool. You know, it's a tricky thing, isn't it, really?
It is.
But cost comes into it. We can't,
it does.
We can't all be splashing out Rowan prices, can we,
no.
really? So I just found,
wouldn't it be wonderful if we could?
I know. Well, I just found it really tricky to find a substitute for it, but this works, so I'm going with it. So thank you all for that.
Yes.
I will tell you how I get on with my knit front backs.
Let's check in on what we've got for whom.
Can I just dump that down?
You can. This. Look, hold your one up as well.
No, I did that one. You did that one.
Okay.
What?
Sorry.
But this is the difference in size. It would be a good thing to show you, won't it? Other way, that's the dodgy side.
Other way.
She
went all Yorkshire.
So yeah, this is my Mon Ami hat. This is the September pattern that...
September Platinum.
Platinum pattern.
But these be 2 Christmas presents.
Yeah, and I knit mine, I think with 4.5mm, and I thought I should have switched to 5 for the colour work, so I told Dan to use 5 for his. And it is bigger, it does come out much bigger. So you can see the difference there, look. And it's wider as well.
That'd go on a dude, that would.
Oh yeah, well why don't you put this woolly hat on?
I will.
Oh no,
yes.
It's going to make me so hot. Oh gosh, it does fit. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, I sounded Welsh.
It's lovely.
I always go Welsh.
That's a hark back to episode 1.
I should put mine. It's going to muck up my hair, isn't it?
Don't put it on then. It's okay. It's really comfortable. It's really comfortable.
Yeah.
I like this a lot. I think
I'm
this...
looking for the jog.
You should give this to Uncle Dom, to my brother Dom.
Oh, right.
Because that hat I knitted him 2 years ago, I don't think it was quite big enough.
Right.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled when he owns up and sees this.
Well, you think it's a bit girly though? Is it a bit girly?
Oh, come on. He's got like a quiff. He'll wear that.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is.
And yeah, it's obviously chartered, and this is the first time I've ever done that, isn't it? A colourworky type.
Is it DK or worsted K?
It's an Aran weight.
Right.
So it's Drops Alaska that I knit it in, and I would really recommend that you maybe pick up some Alaska. It's really cheap. You know, we were just talking about the cost of...
Dom, Catherine.
Oh yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Husband
and wife. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. How cool are they going to look?
Yeah, it's
when they're out walking their dogs.
Drops Alaska, which are 50-gram balls. So you'd need... It just goes into the second of the 50-gram balls for the main colour. So you'd need 2 balls of the main colour and then 1 of the contrast in Drops Alaska. But a heavy worsted would work fine. You know, something like Mad Tosh Vintage. That's a very glamorous alternative, but that sort of thickness. But this, if you can get Drops Alaska, I think it's very widely available.
I'm making a list.
I'd really recommend that you give this a go, because it's really nice for the colour work as well.
Yeah.
You know, shall we look at floats? I mean, everybody likes to look at the floats, don't they? These are my floats.
Look at my floats.
Let's see. Uh-oh. What do we think? Oh, we're getting thumbs ups. Thumbs ups.
The floats on my new one are better than these floats.
Thumb ups. Oh, I can't work it out.
One thumb up.
Yeah, just the one.
Just the one, Mrs. Wembley. Nice.
What's a quiff? Did you say quiff?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like in Greece, do you know that Danny's got? That's a quiff.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
He's got quite big hair.
Yeah. He has got quite big hair. I don't know, has he?
He does. It's huge. And it's thick
hair?
and lustrous.
It's not a quiff though, really.
It is.
All right.
You just look next time.
Well, I will.
You'll never look at him in the same light again.
I will next time. But I think my floats are pretty okay, and I didn't catch them on the longest bit, and it was fine. I think because it's not something you will put your hand in, is it? It's not like it's mittens where your fingers might catch on the floats. So it worked fine without actually catching the floats. So I think it would be a brilliant first colourwork project, wouldn't it? Do you
Absolutely.
think so?
It's a wonderful pattern. I'm knitting another one right now.
And you can put a lovely big pom-pom on with your leftovers from your white... What?
We're not putting a pom-pom on Dom's.
Not on Dom's, no, but it might be nice with a pom-pom on
on Catherine's.
Gold one.
So, look, 2 people,
yes.
2 presents. Next
Brilliant.
presents,
So
next
what
presents.
else have we got?
Yeah, look, this is supposed to be a Mittmas, and those were 2 hats.
All right.
So, get your mittens out, love.
Ooh, that's a bit much, isn't it? That's a different
Let's see them, let's see them.
So I've got these ones, these were knit with my hand-dyed DK weight, held double with some Kid Silk Haze. Just a plain pair of mittens. Gosh, my hand is so hot now. So,
and they fit you?
Yes, they fit me.
So you've got quite small hands?
Well, yeah, I suppose so, but there's room, look.
Right.
There's loads of room.
Maybe...
They would fit any woman.
Jules, then. Jules?
Any woman, probably.
Jules?
Maybe.
Oh, you're not sure?
I don't know, because I'd be worried about Jules throwing them in the washer.
Who else worries about things like that when you knit things?
Getting them thrown in the washer.
Do you think about that with people, and do you change the yarn choice, and do you not give to certain people? Are they knit-worthy?
I'm just not sure how Kid Silk Haze would do in the washer. I've never thought about that. I'll have to look at a ball and see if it's Hatmas.
Hatmas, yeah.
That's funny. So I'm not sure who these would go to. You see, I always want to give everything to Nana Wendy because I know she'll look after them.
But you're knit. Well, we could.
They could go to Nana Wendy, couldn't they?
Okay.
She will love the pink, wouldn't she? Wouldn't she? You don't
Wendy.
know. So that's those
mittens,
ones.
Pink. Next. What are they knit out of?
This is acrylic. Anybody can have these. I love these. I want to knit more of these.
What's the pattern again?
It's the Cinder Smoke, isn't it? Do you remember?
With the lady with the cool name?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Neither can I.
It's the Cinder Smoke mitts, and this is just, I think this is Starcraft as well, chunky. These are brilliant, so anyone can have these. Brilliant dog walking mitts. They've all got dogs, haven't they, your relatives?
Yeah. So, Jules or Catherine? You see, I'm thinking more Catherine.
But Catherine, you've just given a hat too. Because you're not having a hat and gloves. That's a bit much, isn't it?
That's funny, that, isn't it?
Oh, but saying that, I gave her a pair of socks last year. Do you know the sock? The tutorial tutorial I did for the snowfall socks, was it?
Yeah.
I gave those to Catherine and she went nuts for them, didn't she? She put them straight on. Loved them. So that's those ones. Okay, next is this.
Oh, you see,
pair.
they're classy. That's a classy pair.
I know, and I thought your mum might like these.
Well, give them both to her.
This is crazy. I can't give everything to your mum. Here you are, Nana Wendy. We've come at Christmas, therefore I have knit you
everything.
3 pairs of mittens, 2 cardigans.
The thing is, though, when someone is knit-worthy, she's not got a blanket, has she? You
No,
knit her a blanket?
I haven't knit her a blanket. I'd like to knit her a blanket.
I'm sure she'd like that.
I know.
Yes.
I've got hankerings.
So who are we going to give those to? What are they knit out of?
This is the yarn that lovely Sarah Hepworth sent me.
Why are you speaking like that?
Because it's exciting.
Oh, okay.
And it's the one that's got nettle in it. It's nettle sock yarn.
Do you have to be careful with it?
I held it double. No, it's...
See, I'd say Jules.
Do you think Jules for those?
But we've said Cinder Smoke for Jules, so maybe not.
Right. But what about like Anna, maybe?
Ah, that's a great idea.
Anna is Dan's niece.
Who's studying medicine.
She's studying medicine at university now.
And she'll need her fingers free for the operations.
She will, won't she? So yes, these are the... What are these?
Fingerless mitts.
It's something to do with the cuff, isn't it? The name of the pattern.
Welts.
Welts. Something to do with welts. It's on my project page on Ravelry, I think, anyway.
It's the fingerless onion mitts.
It's knit with, it's onion yarn.
Right. Perfect.
So that's those anyway. Oh gosh, it's so hot. And then the last thing I've got is...
Yeah. You see...
Yeah, I know, these are brilliant for gifts.
So, but maybe... Oh, I don't know. It's tricky.
I've got one of the wash mitts. This is the larger size. In pinks and whites. And everybody seems to be really enjoying the tutorials on that, so that's brilliant.
Yes.
Michelle has knit like 2 already.
My goodness.
I know. Brilliant.
That's cool.
So that, I'm not sure who what about my side of the family?
Well, yeah. So...
Lizzie, maybe.
Yeah.
Lizzie with some lovely soap.
Kay's niece.
That's my niece.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Lizzie...
Is she your niece if she's mine?
Yes, of course she is.
But how can she be your niece?
Because we're married.
Right, I never think of it like that, really, but you must be right, yes. So my sister's
3 bears,
daughter...
pink, soap. Perfect.
With some soap.
So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 presents done and dusted.
6, that's not bad, I suppose.
I think that's an excellent effort.
Could be better, could be worse.
1 for every month so far.
Yeah.
I like it. So what do you do?
Auntie Carol, how are you? She just told us off because we haven't said hello. I'm so sorry. It's the heat.
So what are you doing for Christmas? Do you have plans in place or are you waiting till October? Please tell us. Someone has the coolest name ever.
Who?
Seattle Rain.
No.
That's never your name.
Maybe we shouldn't ask. That can't be your name.
It's possibly a pseudonym, and there might be a very good reason for that.
Yes, Welted Mitts from Church Mouse. Yes, Seattle Rain. That's the most fabulous name.
I know it is.
It can't be because it rains a lot in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
She's playing a little.
That's where my cousin.
You've got a cousin.
I've got a cousin who lives in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where Fraser's from.
Yes, cool.
Yeah. Because it's always raining, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if it's like an English type climate.
I wonder, yeah.
Is it? Not at the moment.
No, not at the moment.
It's like California at the moment.
Marlisha, the pattern for the wash mitt, you can purchase it on Ravelry, but it's part of a tutorial series.
Yeah, it came out on Thursday.
Came out on Thursday.
Thursday
just gone, and you will get...
Marlisha, no, they've got it already.
Oh, have all 3 gone out?
No, you kept referring to the pattern in the second tutorial video, so I had to attach it to that one.
Right, okay. So the pattern was attached to the second part?
Yeah, it came out on Thursday.
Yeah, brilliant.
So on Thursday, the second part came out, and if you scroll down to the bottom of that post, so it's the 3 Bears Wash Mitt Part 2, if you scroll down to the bottom of that post, at the bottom, it'll say the 3 Bears Wash Mitt pattern or something or other. I can't remember exactly what it says, but you can see it's a little PDF that you just click on, and it downloads onto whatever device, whether it be your phone or your computer or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like on Ravelry, where you buy a pattern and you get the PDF.
Yeah.
So it's there for you. Cool.
Excellent.
So that's a great start.
Is anyone else knitting yet for Christmas? I wonder if...
We need... really now to sort of focus, I think, or you do on the mitten side.
Oh, marvellous.
Well, it's the Mitmas thing.
I know, I know.
I'm going to churn out another Mon Ami which someone can have.
Right.
And I mean, but do you want one as well?
Well, I do need to knit another one just to check the gauge on the bigger needles.
Right. Okay.
So.
And I can't do that.
Well, you have knit one on the bigger needles, and that's fine.
Right, but you.
But I'd like to do it as well, really.
Right.
Because your gauge was a little bit all over the place, so.
Not anymore.
No, well, I'm just making sure it's right for the.
My gauge is sorted now.
Belt and braces,
cool.
really.
Cool. It's time for Baker's question time, and I brought something along.
Oh, has it not melted?
I don't care.
I'd be amazed if it hasn't melted.
Look at this. Oh, it's a bit soft.
Yeah, it will be.
Look at this. Tell everyone what it is, Kay.
It's, oh gosh, it's very soft. It's Millionaire Shortbread, and it'll be in next week's podcast as a baking segment. I know it's not technically a pudding, but you know, the weather's been such that...
Kay, we established at Winifred Pudding that the word pudding...
Oh, we know, yeah, a pudding just means a dessert.
It does,
yeah.
So you don't need to explain yourself.
No, okay. But it just seemed really appropriate, just with, you know, the weather that is. So yeah, Millionaire Shortbread, which is basically, if you don't know what it is, I'm sure you all do, but it's a layer of shortbread, and then you make a caramel, and there's a caramel on top, and then you melt chocolate, and chocolate goes on top of the caramel.
Now...
It's really delicious, is it not?
Yeah. This is a really important one for me, because when I was 7, my mum bought a tin of condensed milk, and on the back of it she read the recipe for Millionaire Shortbread, and she made it, and me and my brothers loved it, and now all these years later she still makes it whenever there's an event or whatever. She makes Millionaire's Shortbread and brings it along, and it's just perfect. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to try and emulate that and bring back those memories, and my goodness, it worked. It's honestly, I'm not messing, you know, look, the roulade was lovely, but that's an event dish, that roulade.
Yes, I mean, this is more
that's not
of
something
like,
that you just pick up.
This is more of an everyday treat.
This is the type of thing, forget treat, it's a staple.
Gosh, I think some people would argue, but...
That's amazing. That's a taste of my youth. And it brings, you know...
It is lovely.
I'm not... I don't think I reminisce a lot about past times.
No, not food-wise, anyway.
That, I do. It all comes flooding back. My goodness, you know, what's so cool about that is it's like a chocolate bar.
It is.
But without any of the rubbish that they put in chocolate bars.
It's a bit like a Mars bar, isn't it? But
you're creating... Yes, it's got some sugar in it, but you know all the ingredients. You know, you can trace all the ingredients. You've made it with your own bare hands, and it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
I have like the biggest sugar high.
You should have seen his face. I let him sort of look out the bowl when I'd made the caramel thing. You should have seen his face, honestly. I was just laughing my head off.
Now, the problem with so many Millionaire Shortbreads is people either make too soft a caramel or too hard a caramel, or the chocolate layer is too thick.
Too thick.
And Kay has just, you've nailed it, and she's going to help you guys nail it as well. Because the reason why the chocolate layer mustn't be too thick is if it's too thick, as soon as you bite into it, it squashes out all the caramel. Similarly, if the caramel's too sticky, you'd have a serious problem eating it.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to get all the consistencies right. And that was only soft because it's been out of the fridge in a boiling hot room
for quite some time.
Yeah.
But it's still delicious. You have to make it. Honestly, you know,
it's not difficult. It takes a bit of time only in terms of you have to make the shortbread and let that cool, and then make the caramel and let that cool. So it's the time you're actually doing anything is not that long. No. It's the cooling bits that yeah.
So really looking forward to that coming on Wednesday, and I think it is most definitely, I mean, it's a tricky one because I did love the first one, which I think was your favourite, which was the syrup sponge.
Oh yeah.
I think that, but you see, you can't eat syrup sponge in the middle of summer, can you?
Well,
you can't.
I could. Yeah.
It's the custard. Maybe syrup sponge and cream.
With cream?
Yes.
That would be okay, wouldn't it?
See, this is a plan now. You know, I think take your puddings, because there's something to be said as well. There is a huge difference. Christmas pudding. Christmas pudding with cream and Christmas pudding with custard.
I don't have custard with Christmas pudding.
Because it'd be too heavy, wouldn't it?
It just feels wrong. It's got to be cream, I think.
So many people have custard though.
True.
And I think that just by putting that cream on, it's like it cuts through, because there's quite a lot of sharp.
Yeah.
I love a really good Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
No.
Are you going to make one?
No. Next question.
It is a huge thing, actually, isn't it?
They're not difficult to make at all, no.
Well, don't...
You've just got to remember to make them in time.
Right.
And I just always forget. You've got to make them October, really.
Right.
If not before, because they've got to mature.
Well, Alicia likes the cheesecake that you made.
Oh, that was lovely. Do you know, and I've made 2 since. Bryony absolutely loved it, and I was really surprised, because I thought she'd be dubious about the raspberries, but she loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've made 2 of it. Yeah, I'm sure I've made 2.
You have? Yeah. You have, yeah. I mean, you know, that's unheard of, to be perfectly honest. Her, you know, getting so excited about something quite like that. And I just wouldn't have expected it of her either.
No, no.
But it's funny how, you know, well, I suppose it isn't, because one's baked and the other one isn't. But, you know, when you take a cheesecake and, you know, it's got the same name, the baked one and the non-baked one, and the taste
I much prefer a non-baked.
I don't like baked cheesecakes.
When we say we mean the baked ones usually have eggs in, and you bake them in the oven. That's the ones that we're not really keen on, isn't it? They're much heavier and they're a bit cloyy. You don't like the cloyiness, do you? It feels like claggy in your mouth, you would say.
Yeah, and I've had, you know, my brother really likes them.
Oh, he does, yeah.
You know, he I'm sure the one that he had that time was a really, really good one.
He bought it from somewhere, hadn't he?
Yeah, and I think he quite regularly buys them.
Yeah.
But it was more cheesy than desserty.
Yeah, it was. It didn't have much vanilla-y sort of going on.
But I suppose it's each to their own at the end of the day.
Yeah.
TV shows with weird endings.
Yes!
Now,
this is a good one.
Well, it is, but it's tricky, isn't it? Because you don't want to give anything away. Isn't it? It's hard.
Oh, well, these are really old series.
They are really old series.
They're really old series, so...
Is that how you say the plural of series?
Or is it just series?
It's got to be just series.
It's like giraffe, isn't it? What else did I say the other day? And you were like, no, it's not that.
I can't remember.
Is it something on Star Wars? I forget. Anyway. Borgs. Star Trek. Bryony's just got into Star Trek.
Time.
In a big way. Oh,
and you don't call the Borg Borgs.
Well, I didn't know. I said, what are those Borgs doing?
So I told her.
I was like in hysterics. I said,
No, I wasn't in hysterics. The first time I told you they are a single entity. They're called the Borg. She continued to call them Borgs.
Because it was silly. It was silly, you know. They were these funny creatures. Is that they're the ones with the face, with the strange facey things going on?
We'll save this for our Star Trek podcasts. Which I would totally do. I would. I like Star Trek.
I like Star Trek.
I watched all the series.
Yeah, series.
I just did it deliberately. I did it for you.
That doesn't sound right, yeah.
So, what is...
Series. Borg are like sheep. What do you think?
What is the series that you have watched that had the strangest ending? The ending which either surprised you the most or disappointed you the most?
Or just made you go, what is going on?
So 6 Feet Under. You see,
anybody watch 6 Feet Under? I know it's old really now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we shouldn't dwell too long on each of these, because I am concerned about giving away. I don't know. I feel funny about this now. About
saying what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to say specifically what happened,
but you know, when we're talking about series with weird endings, the ending of 6 Feet Under.
We were just like, you're kidding me.
I don't think I blinked for the whole episode.
No. We loved it. We loved watching the series.
Yeah, and then the last 4 or 5. Yeah, I mean, the whole of season 4 was weird.
So sad.
But then the last 4 or 5 got...
Oh, it really messed me up, that one that was like 2 from the end, I think.
Yeah.
When someone passed away, we will say, oh, we're going to talk about Karen. We're going to talk about that one.
Yeah.
somebody passed away, and it was just so incredibly sad, and I was just beside myself, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Because it was just awful. It was awful.
Look, Roger just started 6 Feet Under last week.
Oh.
So Roger, we're not going to tell you what happens. The whole series was superb.
It was. We loved it.
And I'd love to know what you think of the ending when you get there.
Yeah, we won't tell you what happened. But yeah, Scully agrees, wasn't it? We were like, I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean, Scully, when I say that?
It's just too much.
That's not how it should have ended. It wasn't happy for me.
Kylie, third on my list is Dexter. I mean, isn't it funny? 2 series, both with Michael C. Hall.
And wasn't he brilliant in 6 Feet Under?
He was brilliant in 6 Feet Under.
He was fantastic in that.
Absolutely superb. The best one in it. The only one, actually, by the end that, you know, you really liked.
His character, I just loved it. I wanted to take him home.
Similarly, though, he's brilliant in Dexter.
He is fantastic.
Because how do you make someone like that likeable?
Yeah.
And he did. But yeah, the Dexter ending was completely bananas.
It was totally bonkers.
And it fits with the ending of The Sopranos. Because you finish watching six seasons of The Sopranos, which is like edge of your seat stuff all the way through.
We loved all of these series.
And then you sit down to watch the end, and it finished, and you're like,
you're just waiting for something to happen, and nothing happened. Nothing happened.
I suppose it was quite clever in a way, because I think that's what they were playing off on. They thought, we'll make people think something's going to happen.
Maybe so.
We'll take them to the edge of their seats.
We were like this, and nothing happened.
So maybe that's the one. Olivia, I don't fully remember the end of Breaking Bad, and that.
Oh no, I can't remember that either. We did watch it.
That probably tells you.
I can't remember that either.
That I agree with you. But the episode of Breaking Bad, I really enjoyed Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
We both did.
Yeah.
But there was one episode
with the
which
fly.
We despised.
The one with the fly, you know which one we mean, don't you? We thought that was just dreadful. What on earth that episode was about, I don't know.
Well, I think it was about a director and an actor wanting to show off.
Show off. It was terrible. It was awful, that episode.
It reminded me of the episode of EastEnders, which was in real time, was the argument between Den and Angie when he then served her with divorce papers.
It was in real time? What do you mean?
It was... The episode...
I know the episode, but what do you mean by real time? It's
real
not
time.
24.
No. It happened as it happened. That episode was filmed. I think it was filmed live. So there was no time jumps in it.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was
I didn't know that.
half an hour or however long the episode was, and it was that amount of time.
I didn't know that.
So there was no time jumps, and that makes it all the more intense. But, I mean, it's similar, I think, you know, it's clever when people do things like that. But then Breaking Bad, you know, the fly thing, that was just it's too far. It's nuts. It's crazy. But we're just watching, actually, and I don't think it has a weird ending at all. We're just watching, again, The West Wing.
No, we're not. We're
not
watching
The West Wing.
Newsroom.
Thank you. We're just watching...
So when are you watching that? I want to watch
when
it too.
you're in bed.
I want to watch it.
No, you see, we've watched it so many times.
I know, I do like The West Wing.
But we're watching The Newsroom again,
I never really know what they're talking about, but I really like it.
Well, it's similar in The Newsroom.
It's similar with The Newsroom. There's a couple of episodes where I have not got a clue what is going on with the talk, you know, with the dialogue.
We love it.
But I still love it, yeah.
We absolutely love it.
Yep.
I'm just trying to catch up on the thread, make sure we've not missed anything. Newhart. I've not even heard of Newhart.
I don't know what that one is, no.
Crumbs. No, I mean, that's 2 people who mentioned Newhart.
I don't know that one.
We'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Is that old? Is it new? We're coming to the end. We're coming to the end of the show. We've not got time. I mean, if anyone's got any quick questions they want to ask us, because we normally do, we've not done an Ask the Bears for ages, because we always seem to run out of time. We're running out of time again.
Oh, gosh, did I have anything else?
But if you have any quick questions, do shout. What is coming up this month?
I don't think so.
Literally, the most exciting new adventure ever. Also, that Pudding Club is going to be epic, because it is just my favourite. But the new adventure is something I've wanted to do my whole life. And, you know, it's been a challenge getting the filming slotted in right, but we've nailed it. And it's such an epic new adventure. It's going to be the first time ever where Kay needs to go off and do some filming.
Oh, yes.
Whilst I'm off somewhere else doing
I was a little bit worried. I didn't know what he was on about, but I do.
There's so much. It's just going to be amazing. I can't wait. We also have Melanie Beck. She's lovely.
Oh.
And I don't mean to be surprised. But I think, you know, in
Bryonybear.
Yeah. She's coming up in the next issue of Knitability, and you know, sometimes these super busy, super sort of successful designers, we've dealt with a few of them. You know, it's been lovely. Everyone's been lovely, but you know, sometimes they are abrupt. And Melanie, whilst in the first instance was quite abrupt because she was so busy, she's now, you know, she's just taken the time and she's just gone the extra mile, set up a Dropbox folder and put in all sorts of different things, and so that's coming up in the next Knitability. That's going to be lovely. It's really great sitting down and talking to her. The next pop is early. It's on the 12th of August at 2 p.m. British Summer Time, so don't miss it, because we'll be telling you all about our lovely week in the Lake District.
Yeah, we're going away for a week just before that.
So we'll tell you all about it. Oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing. We can't wait. There is a street close to where we're staying called High Street, and it was built by the Romans.
Oh, right.
The problem is it's called High Street for a reason.
It's high up.
It is.
Oh, right.
So the only chance I think I've got to get in there...
Oh, see, this is my thing, isn't it? With Scully knows what I'm like with these jaggedy mountains.
I bet Scully's been on High Street.
She will have been. Scully's been on cliff edges and everything up there, hasn't she?
I want to get to High Street. Have you got any pets? We used to, we don't anymore.
Oh, no, we don't. I always had pets.
Bob Newhart.
Growing up, I always had dogs, you know, when I lived at home with my parents, and then when I moved out of home, I always had cats. And our last cat, or my last cat, I should say, died 4 years ago now, it must be. It was the day before Dan had to have his neck surgery. We lost Lucy, and she was 19. She was very old. She'd been unwell for probably a year on and off. Her kidneys just failed, and I had to have her put to sleep, sadly. But since then, I'd kind of, because it was at the start of Dan's sort of medical problems, I just didn't have space in my brain for a pet, and I've not had any urges to have another one since, to be honest, because
it's because I fill that gap in your life.
Yeah, it's true. I just don't think I could mentally deal with the stress of having a pet. I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but they're a lot of work.
If you're going to take care of a pet properly.
Yeah, they're a lot of work, whether it's a cat or a dog or whatever it is. You've got to care for them and feed them and walk them if it's a dog and look after them. That's a lot of work, and I'm just not in that place really anymore. Because
you've got to care for me and walk me and look after me.
Well, yeah, there is that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you so much for watching. It's been hot. It's been sticky. I'm
absolutely boiling. We shut the window because the man sawing next door is so incredibly noisy. So we're actually just little puddles now.
Thank you so much for watching. Tune in Friday this week. Millionaire Shortbread, gorgeous, and a really cool and quick way of making the caramel, which is really great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you a yarn actually on the podcast next week that I've just started knitting with, that is the most fantastic yarn I've knit with in a long time.
That's cool.
And I've got a skein as well to add to the prizes for the Summer of Sorcery. Cool. So
cool.
Yeah, it's utterly fabulous, this yarn.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this week, the third part of the Three Bears wash knit comes out on Tuesday. But as I said earlier on, the pattern is in the video that came out Thursday.
And a few people were asking, when they got the first part, a few people were asking if I'd show them how to attach the loop. It's in the third part. So you don't need to do that until you do the finishing things in the third part. So yes, it's there. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, it is, absolutely. I tried to answer everyone, but yeah, I'm sure I probably missed someone. So thank you so much. Linda Fabrizio is saying, don't go. Oh, that's so nice, Linda. I need a cold bath. Yeah, I'm beyond hot now. We'll see you on Friday for episode 105. Oh yes, how exciting. Our 5th episode. Keep cool, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye. We see we're waving as if we're on the podcast. Why would we not wave? Someone's got to stop it. I'm sat there waving. Oh, we're both waving. Bye, bye, bye. It's like when you're on the phone, isn't it? I hate saying bye. I know when you're on the phone and you go, all right, bye, and I end up going bye, 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 bye. No, you only do that with your mum. Do I?
You don't do it with anybody else.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Maybe it's just my mum then that does the same thing.
Right. You don't do it with anyone else?
Do I not?
No.
How strange.
It's just your mum.
I'm not often on the phone with anybody else though, to be fair. Apart from you,
me?
and I just don't even say bye to you. You didn't to me when you came the other day.
Sorry.
Yesterday, I rang him to pick me up from the hairdressers, and he just answered the phone and went, "I'm on my way," and put the phone down.
Well, surely she wants picking up swiftly. That's what I thought. I thought, get in the car fast, go get her. That was my feelings.
Yes, I suppose.
So we'll try this again.
Right, let's try
and
again.
I'll try and turn it off with my left hand.
Bye.
I still don't think I've ended it properly.
Oh no!
I have now. Ah. Folks, that light is just too warm. Yes. Go get the fan out.
So hot.
I'm going for a cold shower. We'll see you next month.